Hello everyone, and welcome to day 16 of my 100-day project, and we are still working with watercolor. I am traveling for a couple of days, as I mentioned yesterday, and so I jerry-rigged up this tripod by standing my camera on top of a glass. So pardon the reflection, that glass bulb at the top is an upside down wine glass, so that was my tripod, but it worked better than me trying to hold it with my jiggly hand like yesterday. Today, I'm missing my daughter. I chatted with her this morning, and I miss her. And I was thinking today about the tribal figure that I created yesterday, this moon goddess with this woman inside of her kind of representing all of women history, all of that. And today I thought I would do another abstract figure, and this time really honoring motherhood and at least one perception of it. So again, with circles. So circles, a very common theme in my work, but also as I think about femininity, circles just come to mind. So I've got a circular figure, purple representing intuition, green representing the heart, yellow representing spirit, and our center of power and will, and our vision for what we would love in our lives. And then red being the root, sort of that ancient wisdom. And so it's a figure with a baby is kind of what I'm thinking about. And as I start to put colors around the figure, really what I'm thinking about here is just one, bright, vibrant colors. I'm not really thinking about chakras at this point. I'm really not thinking about much, to be honest. This became a very meditative process for me. And my daughter would be the first to tell you that it's definitely not a rainbow because my colors aren't in the right order. So I'm just sort of thinking about all of the different energies, maybe from our ancestors, maybe from the universe, whatever sort of energies speak to you that are surrounding this figure and holding this figure. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. And I really let the process take over at this point. Pulling out color. I'm doing my best to wait between colors. I'm not using a blow dryer to dry it or anything, but I'm just giving it a minute or two to dry so the colors don't bleed together too much. They do a little bit, which doesn't bother me, but I didn't want them bleeding too much. And there was just something about tracing around this figure that was very meditative for me. And you know, Zentangle is something, I've done Zentangle workshops in the past, and I incorporate some Zentangle into some intuitive watercolor workshops that I like to do, or meditative watercolor as we like to call it. And the idea is that when we make these repetitive motions, it really puts our brain into a meditative state. We're not thinking, and we're just feeling into the moment, and we're just kind of getting lost in flow. And that's what this process felt like to me. So it was super enjoyable. I really loved it. I love just pulling out. I'm not really mixing colors until the very end. These are just colors straight out of my palette. This is a gorgeous quinacridone purple. I've got a quinacridone red, a pyrrole orange. The yellow, I think, is a Hansa yellow, perhaps. And then I've got a phthalo green. And then at the very end, I mix up burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. And that's how I make that really dark, blackish kind of indigo color. And so I just really wanted the colors around to be dark. So the figure in the center would pop out a little bit because it's lighter. It could be like almost looking through a tunnel into where this figure is in the light. It could be just being surrounded by all these different energies. There's lots of different ways to interpret this one, but yeah, when I set out on this journey to do 100 days of figurative work, I had no idea where it would go. And it's been really, really cool just to kind of see. And I'm only day 16, so I'm really excited to see where I land. I do think there are a couple of these small ones that are like studies that I would want to do in a larger format. Yesterday's day 15, I definitely think I want to do that in a bigger format. And maybe this one as well. I'm really enjoying the abstract as much as I do love figurative work and creating faces and that sort of a thing, more representational. I do really enjoy the abstract nature of this and interpreting what a figure means in the context of color and shape, and in this case, circles. Because that's really what these last 2 days have been about for me. So I'm really curious to see, like, when you think of the feminine, when you think of a feminine figure, what shapes come to mind for you? And I'd love to hear from you as well. When you look at this, are you looking through a tunnel, or is it surrounded by energy? Is it something else? There's so many different ways to interpret it. But I really love this dark color. When I need to make a black out of this palette, this is how I do it. Again, it's burnt sienna and the ultramarine blue, and it makes a beautiful dark indigo black color. The more burnt sienna, the warmer it gets, and the more ultramarine blue, the bluer it gets. Raw umber is a great one to use as well, but I don't have one in this palette. And we're getting close to the end here. And there we go. There she is, Mama. Loving all the texture that you can see and all the colors and even the little bits of white space in between kind of give it a bit of a highlight in there. So that's day 15 or 16, sorry. Thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.